Hello, guys. This is Aries, and today we are live for the AWE and WWE Survivor Series review. So, if you just give me a second to get comfortable, and I will explain what we're doing. In the chat. So, let me just pull up my stream and then we'll get underway. At the top of the chat if you want to know what we're doing today. For today's little show. There we go. There we go. Everything is good. If you guys just give me a second to get comfortable, and then I will help you guys out with a little thing that we're going to do today. There we go. Now I'm comfortable. Now you guys can see my face. Beliefs. So we are doing the AWE Survivor Series and then WWE. I do not. Okay. So one thing that I need to get out of the way before we begin this. Before I was talking, I need to get something out of the. Let me put something in chat. there's the rules of my live stream chat. So, yeah, if you're going to do that, then you need to at least follow the rules. All messages, please. Thank you. Sorry, I was talking to myself about just the chat filter that they were doing. Wasn't reviewing it as all messages. It was reviewing it only as top messages, which I don't like. I like it to be all messages. So there's rules for this live stream, and then the pinned message reveals what we're doing today. I'm going to filter that as well while I'm here. There we go. I had to filter it on my screen as well because it was showing me something that I had already seen before, which was someone's message was retracted or removed. Rivermore, hello. Carla, hello. So we are going to be reviewing the AWE Survivor Series event. So, how AWE Survivor, and then we're going to review WWE Survivor Series, and then we are going to review then we are just going to chat and not review anything else. All right? So, what do you guys want to start with? I'm shocked over War Games, the interference in the men's War Games. Yeah, so am I. What do you guys want to think we should start with? AWE Survivor Series or WWE? So I'm going to put it in chat. Give me a sec. Okay, a lot of people are saying WWE should be first. So we're going to do that. All right, we're going to do WWE, okay, guys? Enough. All right, you guys made your point. We're going to do WWE. So first match on tap was the women's War Games match between Team Becky and Team AJ Lee, in which Team AJ gets the victory. After AJ Lee taps out, after she taps out Becky Lynch. So, what would you guys grade that match on? Let me put it in the chat so I can tell you what your options are for grading the match. So, what would you grade Survivor, the Women's War Games match on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best you've ever seen. 8? Okay. Accidentally swiped down so I couldn't hear what you were saying. Sorry about that. Oh, what I said was, what would you grade Survivor Series on a scale of 1 to 10? Rivermore, you don't have to grade it. You've already graded it. You would already, not Survivor Series, the Women's War Games match. What would you grade that? And on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you grade the Women's War Games match, Carla? But Rivermore gives it an 8. So, Carla, I need to know your opinion. Do you give it a between 1 through 10? What would you give it? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best you've ever seen. Maybe an 8? Okay. Okay, so the next match we had on tap was let me just pull the card. Give me a sec, guys. Next match we had on tap was John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio, and you know, we had a match where we had a lot of interference in the Dom Cena match, which is next that we're reviewing. We had Raquel, we had Roxanne, we had JD, we had Finn, and the return of Liv Morgan. Now I'm gonna put it in chat again. Your grading options. So give me a sec. Damn. Rivermore going for a 0. John Cena should have never lost the title. Damn. I'm shocked at that. 10 out of 10. I love that. Wow. Carla definitely going for a 10. Okay, so the next match on tab was Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella for the Women's World Championship, in which Stephanie Vaquer would win the match and retain the Women's World Championship. So what would you guys, again, I'm going to do it again. Zero point 0. A Meditz gives Cena versus Dom a 4 out of 10. So now we are moving on to the women's world title, and it looks like Pink Sugar Pudding. Hello. We're just reviewing the Survivor Series shows that took place. Of course, for my company, Aries Wrestling Entertainment, and for WWE. So we are just reviewing WWE. I sure can make a Harley. Okay. Reghard Mans, hello. Yeah, we're reviewing WWE Survivor Series right now. A lot of people are saying that Nikki versus Stephanie was a 0. People are Rivermore has said that Cena versus Dom was a 0. Carla said Cena versus Dom was a 10. And A Meds said that yeah, Ahmed said that Cena versus Dom was a 4 out of 10. Rivermore and Carla have said that Nikki Bella and Stephanie was a 0. So did Ahmed's. So for those just new, rate the match between Vaquer and Nikki, and you can also rate the other matches too that I have already reviewed. You can rate the women's war games. You can rate Cena versus Dom, and you can rate Stephanie versus Nikki. So now we're going to move on to the final match, which is Team Vision, Brock Lesnar, the Bronze, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre. Ahmed says the War Games is a 10 out. Women's War Games is a 10 out of 10. Now we're moving on to the men's War Games, which is Team Vision. Again, that's Brock Lesnar, the Bronze, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre versus the Usos, Roman Reigns, Punk, and Cody Rhodes. I have no clue who that was that helped the Vision. My guess is Austin Theory. I've seen a lot of people say Austin Theory. So I'm going to say Austin Theory. All right, so now rate the men's War Games match where Team Vision wins 1 through 10. I agree with you, Mets. I agree with you. Rivermore, you can't go a million, dude. You have to go 1 through 10. I'm sorry, my friend. 5.3 for Carla. From Carla, okay. $10, okay, 10 from Rivermore. Could Dean Ambrose be the one who is in that match? No, he's in the Continental Classic, a Medits. Regard bands, I will take the 20. You can't go a million. So anything in double between 10 and 20, you can rate it. But you can't go any higher than 20. A Medits, no, Dean Ambrose could not be the one who was in the Continental, who is in the mask. because he's currently working with AEW and doing their Continental Classic tournament. $15.6, Carla changing the score that was graded for the War Games. Now, all in all, what would you guys rate the pay-per-view? 1 through 20. I'm going to put that in chat. Don't do that, AJ Medits. Or I will have to ban you for that. Regard Man says 20. Rivermore says a 19. Carla doesn't know. $18 from AJ Medits. That's good. Now we are moving on to Aries Wrestling Entertainment. Y'all know me. As you've probably heard in my YouTube videos, I am the undisputed AWE World Champion. Let me just put that in chat so that newcomers know. So you're a huge fan of AWE? No, I work for AWE. I am an AEW fan, for those wondering. I am an All Elite Wrestling fan. But yeah, as it says in my comment here in the chat, it says, as you know from my community posts and from my promo videos, I am the undisputed AWE World Champion. Now we are going to review AWE Aries Wrestling Entertainment Survivor Series event. No, you cannot be in the AWE event. I do not include those kind of people. I've already maxed out my roster. My roster's maxed out enough. I'm sorry. But my roster is maxed out enough. I'm sorry. Let's get into reviewing the show, folks. So from Saturday, November 29th, 2025, that was yesterday at the time of recording this live stream. Now we are going to review AWE. Let's get into it. The first match on the card We had 4 cage matches on this show. 4 cage matches. 4 cage matches. 2 blood and guts. 2 War Games matches. Let's get into it. So the opening contest was Shane Taylor Promotions, Michaela, Ariana, Emma, Alanis, Nina, Desi, Aaliyah, who are my friends, Trisha Dora, Mina Shirakawa, Sasha Banks, Kalani Jordan, and Naomi. Versus Team Nova. What are cage matches? Those matches are basically where there's a giant cage surrounding the ring, and yeah, they wrestle in that. So let me finish explaining. So we have Shane Taylor Promotions team, that's Michaela, Ariana, Emma, Alanis, Trisha Dora, Nina, Desi, Aaliyah, Mina Shirakawa, Sasha Banks, Kalani Jordan, and Naomi. Versus Team Nova, Mother Wayne, Jody Threat, Danny Luna, Giselle Shaw, Beautiful Bia, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Masha Slamovich, Tofi, Holidead, Harley Cameron, and Taya Valkyrie. Also, Ember Moon was a part of this match, but she, I forgot to put her on the list. So let me just edit that and put her on the women's list. There we go. And I don't think she's on the main post either, so I'm going to edit the main post while I'm at it. Yeah, she's not on the main post either, so I'm going to edit that and fix the problem. All right, let's get back into reviewing. So the winners of the match for the Women's War Game, or Women's Blood and Guts for AWE, was Team Shane Taylor Promotions defeating Team Nova. Next match, Ilya Dragunov versus John Morrison, in which Ilya Dragunov would lose. First, before we get into the next match, let me just ask you, what would you rate the AWE Women's War Games, or AWE Women's Blood and Guts match out of 10? Random generation question. I can't answer that because, yeah, I actually, I will answer the random generation question. What are your thoughts on the opinions of what that is? I don't want to say it because I'm not like that, so I'm not going to say what you put. But for me, it's a 0. It's too brain rotted. I agree with you on what you commented, Carla, and then you also said that you would rate the Women's Blood and Guts an 8. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next match on the AWE card. We have 16 matches to go through. So we're going to get into the next match, which was Ilya Dragunov versus John Morrison, in which Ilya Dragunov would lose to John Morrison. So Yeah, that happened. So, what would you rate Ilya Dragunov versus John Morrison, guys? 1 through 10. Or 1 through 20, sorry, I should say. 1 through 20. Zero, I think John Morrison should have lost. I forget things really easily. Okay, so you said the other fighter. That would have been John Morrison that you picked. There we go. Now, on to the next match. Solo Sikoa versus Bad Bunny, in which Bad Bunny would beat Solo Sikoa. What are y'all's thoughts on it? Again, 1 through 20. Solo Sikoa versus Bad Bunny on AWE. Three out of 20. Bad Bunny should have took an easy loss. Okay, good opinion. Next match, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, in which Damian Priest would win. No, he would lose, actually. He would lose, not win. Lose. So what are y'all opinions on Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre? We've seen it in WWE. Now we're seeing it on AWE. What are your opinions on this? 20 out of 20? Good. Okay, next match. The men's Blood and Guts. Team Kinosuke Takeshita, TJP, Aaron Hanare, Francisco Akira, Jeff Cobb, Mark Davis, Callum Newman, Templario, Jacob Austin Young, Great O'Khan, Kip Sabian, Nick Wayne, Tyler Turva, Go Time Chris LaPlante, Cody Deaner, the hometown man, Kinosuke Takeshita, Yuki Ueno, Kyle Fletcher, Darby Allin, Big E, Robert Stone, MJF, Ben Hameen, Kongo Kong, Bill Collier, Tomer Shalom, Adam Copeland, Samoa Joe, Tetsuya Endo, and Will Ospreay versus Team Aries, which is me, Yuya Uemura, Takamichi Noku, Tai Chi, Jack Morris, Charlie, Hans, Eddie Kingston, Daniel Garcia, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Pac, Miles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Zack Sabre Jr., Shane Haste, Mikey Nicholas, Ryohei Oiwa, Kosei Fujita, John Cena, Leo Rush, Leon Slater, Omos, Walter, Ewan, AR Fox, Ethan Page, Robbie Eagles, and Swerve Strickland. So my team would actually lose to Team Kinosuke Takeshita because Tetsuya Endo put Charlie in a submission and Charlie tapped out. So what are your guys' opinions on the men's Blood and Guts between Team Takeshita and Team Aries? 1 through 20, what are your ratings? 1 through 20. $5.5, you should have won, but tapping out is insane. I know, right? That's why when I got backstage, I had a word with Charlie, and I said, what the heck, man? Like, why'd you tap out, And he's like, look, I'm sorry, I couldn't hold on. And I'm like, don't give me that excuse. Next match is Sol Ruka versus Jordan Grace, where Sol Ruka would lose to Jordan Grace. What are your opinions on Sol Ruka versus Jordan Grace, 1 through 20? You'll skip, Carla? Okay. Um, that's okay. You can skip. I'll allow it. Next match, Chris Jericho has an open challenge against somebody, which was answered by El Tornado with Anthony Darko and Asher Benjamin by his side. And during that match, Jake O'Reilly got involved, helping Tornado secure the win against Chris Jericho. So what do you guys rate Jericho versus Tornado in the open challenge after Asher, Darko, and O'Reilly got involved? Excuse me. O'Doyle Rules, what's up? Haven't seen you since the last review, O'Doyle Rules. We're just reviewing AWE Survivor Series. We are just reviewing match 8 of the show. It's good to see you too, O'Doyle Rules. We're just reviewing match 8 of the show. We're moving on to match 9, Los Americanos. He's no G. Yeah, O'Doyle Rules has been in, if you can give me a sec, I will check my past live streams. But O'Doyle Rules, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the last time you were in the first time you were in my stream was the, correct me if I'm wrong, O'Doyle Rules, but when was your first appearance on my streams? I honestly forgotten when your first appearance was. That's what I like to see, my subscribers getting along. It was around 3 months ago? Okay. So you would have been either in the Q&A, monthly Q&A live stream, or you would have been in the other live for the Q&A. You could have been in one of those Q&As. Or you could have been in a past live stream. Yes, you've been in some Q&As. Yeah, you have. There was 3 Q&As that I had done. One was 4 months ago. 2 of them were 3 months ago. One was 2 months ago. One was a SmackDown reaction video. That was also 2 months ago. Then a month ago, we had the Crown Jewel AWE Crown Jewel Media Scrum questions that we did. But yeah. So the next match on the card of AWE Survivor Series was Los Americanos, Bravo, and Rayo Americano versus the Great Hands, John Schuyler and Jason Hotch, in which the Great Hands would have pulled off, did pull off the victory against Los Americanos. So what are y'all's opinion on it? O'Doyle rules, if you don't know what we're doing, we're rating the matches of every match show on a scale of 1 through 20. So, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. We're reviewing the shows and then rating matches on a scale of 1 through 20. I'm not rating them because then that'd be biased. For the AWE one, I'm not rating it. And for the WWE one, I'm not rating it because I'm not going to be a biased content creator. Because I can be pretty picky when it comes to rating stuff. And I don't want to be that guy on YouTube who is just very picky. Yeah. It's a tag team, Carla, just so you know, because you said he deserves the win, but it wasn't fun for me. The Great Hands are a tag team. That's Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. Next match on the card was the Women's War Games match. Raquel Rodriguez, Bayley, Io Sky, Timeless Toni Storm, and Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Vaquer, Thunder Rosa, Karma, C-Rex, and Zarya in the AWE Women's War Games match, in which Team Raquel defeats Team Zarya. So what was your thoughts on the match? O'Doyle Rules, you had said you had to go check out the results. You can do that by going to my community posts and looking at the very top post. You will see it right there. If you want to do that after this stream, go ahead. Wait, hold on. What is it, Carla? Say it again? Say what again? Did you not hear the names that I mentioned? Is that what you want me to say again? Because I can. Who won? Oh, Team Raquel Rodriguez beat Team Zarya in the match. Yeah. $20 out of 20, okay? Next match. Jimmy Uso versus Tomer Shalom. Of course, Tomer Shalom competed in the men's blood and guts match, so he was feeling the effects, but Tomer Shalom would lose to Jimmy Uso after pulling double duty last night on Saturday, November 29th against Jimmy Uso after having a grueling blood and guts match. So, what would you guys rate the match? 1 through 20. Jimmy Uso defeats Tomer Shalom. Okay, rating it 4.3. Jimmy Uso. I think that's how you spell his name. Could have won. Um, so, yeah, your rating. Okay. Next match was Mustafa Ali versus Kenny Omega, in which Kenny Omega would win. What is your rating of the match, everyone, between Kenny Omega and Ali, where Kenny Omega pulls off the win? Ten 10.4. I'm very glad he won it. It could have been a little more funnier. Sorry, not funnier, but that's life. Yeah, I know what you meant. More fun. Next match on the show was Sammy Guevara versus El Grande Americano, in which Sammy Guevara would lose the match to El Grande Americano. What is your ratings of that match between El Grande and Sammy Guevara? El Grande won, which I'm proud of. So, of that, 20 out of 20. Okay, next match. LA Knight versus Gunther, in which LA Knight wins. What is your rating of LA Knight versus Gunther? Zero. Damn. Wow. I'm shocked. Next match. AWE's version of the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Charlie and Zack Sabre Jr. defend against Dark State, in which Charlie and Sabre would retain the match against Dark State. Your cousin does jujitsu, Carla. That's cool. So what would you rate Charlie and Sabre versus Dark State, in which Charlie and Sabre retain their tag team titles against Dark State? Gotta go. Okay. See you later, Carla. And the main event of the review is the men's War Games match. Shane Taylor Promotions versus the Ops and the Miz, in which Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, Anthony Ogogo, Carly Bravo, and Sean Dean defeat Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, Katsuyori Shibata, Hook, and The Miz. Well, thank you everyone for joining me for the AWE review. And as always, as I say in every single live stream before I end it, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Bye!